Hey everyone, Sumo Spiffy here. Hatsu 2023 is coming up. Now, usually what we do is we have one video that covers a bunch of fantasy stuff right before the tournament starts. We're going to do something a little bit different this week. Each day, we're going to cover one game that works pre-Basho. So you do all your picks before the Basho starts, and then you just let it ride throughout the tournament. They're all very different. This isn't going to be a bunch of bracket based, you have 5 or 6 or however many brackets, pick one guy from each one that you think is going to win the most in that group of wrestlers. But we are going to start with that because it is the most popular version of sumo fantasy games, and Kachi Clash is the biggest of all of them. So here we go, Kachi Clash first. Let's get started. Okay, lower Sanyaku first. These are the top guys in the tournament. Takakeisho is the only one who's competing that's ranked higher than them. They're supposed to do really well, but there's 8 of them. So what we really want is double digits. Somebody here should be getting double digits. Multiple people here should be getting double digits. If you want to play it safe though, pick the guy who you think is most likely to get to 10 or more wins. So who can we eliminate? Well, Wakamoto Haru has no track record here. The best he's done is 10-5, and he went 6-9 the only time he was really in the joy. Like last tournament, he was at 4 East, he was at the bottom. He fought 5, I believe, Sanyaku guys, so a little over half of the possibilities. Obviously, he can't fight his brother, but it wasn't great. It wasn't like a full joy schedule, right? So the one time he really had that kind of schedule, he went 6-9. Can he go 10-5? Maybe. Can he have a winning record? Sure, but we want better than a winning record. We want 10 wins. So Wakamoto Haru out. Meisei doesn't get 10 wins anymore. He hasn't gotten 10 wins in like 2 years at any level. So we can just knock him out right away. Kiribayama, he can get 10 wins. The last time he got 10 wins, he did it twice in a row. He was at High Maegashira. He had the same kind of schedule. He's capable of it. He's capable of it. Let me repeat, he's capable of it. Does that mean he's likely to do it? I don't know about that. I would not go so far as to say he's actually going to pull this off. So we're going to mark him with a question mark. He's capable of it. Like, I don't want to say it too many times, but it is worth really drawing that line between can he do it and will he do it. It's just not that likely given his recent history that he's going to get to 10, but we shouldn't be shocked if he does. Kota no Waka, same kind of thing. Can he get to 10? Yeah. He just hasn't been hitting that level since he hit High Maegashira. He was getting 10 and more pretty routinely at the lower ranks, but as he got up here, he's been getting winning records. He had 7 in Nagoya before they shut it down. He's been getting 8 and 9, but he hasn't gotten to 10. Can he do it? Absolutely. Is he going to do it? I wouldn't count on it. Now, can Shodai do it? Yes. Will he? Really don't think so. So we're just going to keep this simple and get him out of here. I don't know if not being in Ozeki anymore is going to take some of that pressure off that he seemed to struggle with, or if this being his last chance at getting back to Ozeki is just going to apply even more pressure. Can we really trust him though? I would say no. So we've got 3 reasonably good choices, right? We've got Wakataka Kage, Hoshoryu, and Takayasu. So this is how I see these 3 guys. Waka is routinely high floor. You can very reasonably expect him, unless he gets hurt or something, he's going to get 8+, right? That's shitty 8, but you know what I'm saying. He's going to get 8+. Is he going to get 10? He's done it a couple of times this past year. He's more likely going to hit single digits, 9 wins, probably. But he absolutely can get to double digits. The thing with Waka is if he struggles early, so in Kyushu you saw this, he was losing some matches that maybe he shouldn't have, and he started to fall back into his old habits that people took advantage of. So he's more of like an 8 to 12 range guy. If he kicks off strong and he's doing his thing, he can get that rolling. He can get 12 wins. If he gets lucky, maybe even 13. But if he starts slipping, he should still get a Kachi. But, 8 is, that's what he got last time. It could happen again if he doesn't start strong. Hoshoryu is more of a 9 to 11 guy. I think Hoshoryu is on the upswing. Last tournament was the best he's done. When you combine rank and record, that's the best tournament he's had. And guys very often have that great tournament and then they slip. He could do it again here. He could go back to, 8 wins, 9 wins. I don't think he's going to have a losing record. But consider that he had the most winning methods, the most Kimirite, in 2022. He's still learning. He's still young. We forget he's, 23 years old? He's still growing as a wrestler. We think of guys like Katona Waka, who went up and down and up again. Oh, he's on the upswing. Let's catch him on the upswing. Hoshoryu is still young enough to have an upswing, even though he doesn't have much farther to go in terms of rank. I think Hoshoryu, I guess if you think of Kachi as a floor, then 8 wins is the same as Wakataka Kage. But I think he's got a better chance, even if he's struggling a little bit, of getting to 9. So in that sense, I think he has a slightly higher floor. If Waka gets on a roll, I think he has a higher ceiling than Hoshoryu. I think Hoshoryu is a safer pick at this point. It feels weird to say that because I'm always going on about track record, and he doesn't really have one yet, but he's getting better. He's so much younger than the guys around him. I think if you're going to assume a continued increase in performance in anyone, it's going to be him. Then there's Takayasu. Does he have the highest ceiling? Absolutely. He has a 12 to 13 top end, right? He can absolutely smash it. Is his foot injured? Yeah, I think it still is, but his foot was injured in the last Basho and he did all right. How about the stinger? How about his neck injury? Is that a problem? We're not going to know until he gets to the tournament and starts competing. And that's really where the question marks come into play. If we knew he had no other injuries, he'd be an easy selection. If he's got a high end of slightly above Hoshoryu, but he's got a low end of being genuinely injured and struggling, who's your better bet? A lot of people are going to take Takayasu because he's got the better high end. He's the one that you can rely on, if he's at least as healthy as he was last time, to go for the Yusho, to get that 11-12 wins. Waka and Hoshoryu probably have a lesser chance of doing that at equal health. But with Takayasu's health being a question, we don't know what to expect, and I think Hoshoryu is the safest bet here. I feel like I'm gonna get absolutely clowned for making this pick, but I'm going with Hoshoryu. Okay, Maegashira 1 through 5. This is where we take the joy into play. Now, something to keep in mind. The end of the joy is here with Nishiki Fuji. But realistically, if you're thinking about the guys who are going to fight basically the full joy schedule, like all of the Sanyaku or almost all of them, that ends here. For East, the last guy, he will fight a lot of them. So in the last tournament, and some of this had to do with how they were doing at the end because record matchups came into play. But for East, Wakamoto Haru, he fought 6 Sanyaku opponents. 5 East, Hokuto Fuji fought 4. So from here down to here, and that includes Sadano Umi, you're looking at kind of a gray area, a 4 to 6 Sanyaku opponent area. So those schedules aren't that much different. But from 1 to 3, those 6 guys, it's going to be a little bit harder for them. So what does this mean for us? Well, who can we eliminate, assuming somebody here is going to get 10 wins? Because this is a pretty good group of wrestlers, and there are some maybe weaker points in this lineup, but that just means it's more likely somebody's going to get to 10, right? So we can probably eliminate Mataki Yumi as a top end, because until we can see that he's healthy again, he's not going to be hyper competitive in the joy. Once he drops to maybe 5, 6, that may change, even if he's hurt. Tamawashi, you can't trust him. For all I know, he's going to go 13-2 again, but it would be absolutely crazy to actually think that's likely here. Midori Fuji and Sadano Umi keep clawing, scratching, and bless their hearts. I really love the effort that they give. They absolutely do not take fights off like some guys, but that still gets them to 8 wins. They're not going to lead this pack. Nishikigi, It's an absolute miracle he's even at this point. So even though 5 West is the easiest schedule theoretically, he's so far behind some of these guys in ability that there's no way he's going to lead. He could get a winning record, but he's not going to lead. So now we've got 5 guys left. Tobizaru, Daisho. So I think we've seen that Tobizaru has the capacity to compete here, but 10 wins that he got at 1 East not that long ago, is that something that we can expect again? I don't think so. Daisho is up and down and up and down. He's so hit and miss that you could pick him and get your 10, 11 wins. It's like, oh, he's doing great. You could also get 7. You could also get 6. I really don't think he's likely to get less than 7, but I think he's a lot more likely to get somewhere from 7 to 9 than above that. I think the odds of 10 plus, they're not 0, but they're not great. So he's a question mark. Abi is without question the best guy in this group. He is the most gifted wrestler. He just won the U show. I mean, he showed a lot of ability before the U show. This isn't like, oh, he won, let's pick him. But he is definitely going to be a good choice. He is going to fight the full Sanyaku, and it wasn't that long ago. He was Sekiwake, Komusubi, and he was getting 8 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins. So he could very easily slip back down and get, 8 wins, 7 wins, probably 8. He's not a gimme. He is not a gimme. At this level, remember, at 3 and above, it's basically the same schedule for everybody. That only changes if you're doing really well or really poorly, and then the back half of the schedule will, and then the back half of the schedule will reflect that. For now, we gotta assume the harder schedule, he's gonna slip a little bit. That could still be 9 or 10. So it's pretty good. Nishiki Fuji, I'm really struggling with whether he gets the check mark or the question mark. And sitting here thinking about it some more, I think we're going to give him the question mark. Because in the last Basho, when he had to go up against the competition that was actually contending at a high level, and that were at high ranks, he slipped big time. He beat a couple of guys in those higher ranks, but it was Ichinojo and I believe Matakayumi. Not great. They were not doing well. Everybody who was actually performing, he lost to. Do I think he can do well? Yeah. Do I think he can get a winning record? Absolutely. I don't think he's gonna pull another 9 wins out of his hat. He can. He absolutely can. But more things have to break right. It's just not that likely. And then Ryuden is legit. If he was full Joy schedule, I think this would be more of a question mark. But at 5, his schedule gets easier enough that it might offset Abi. He can beat Abi himself. They are close enough in ability that the difference in schedule might do it for Ryuden. He's not a bad choice. I don't think Nishiki Fuji is a bad choice. Other than those 3 guys, though, I do think you're taking your chances. Daisho, if you want to go high risk, high reward, that's fine too. For me, I'm going with Abi. I've been sticking with this dude for a while. He's my boy. I'm not jumping off that train yet. Okay, 6 through 10. This is gonna be a little bit interesting. Because, you know what? I'm done picking Takano Sho. I forgot that his knee was blown out. He's a very good wrestler. But fighting on 1 will be nice and say 1.5 legs. This is his level now. I really don't expect him to do much better than this. Can he get 9 wins here? Sure. The competition is weak enough that he might be able to do that, but I can't trust him. I don't suggest you do either. Endo is all busted up. Again, he's another guy whose capacity is that of someone at a higher level than this, but something's up. I'm not actually sure what in his case, but he just struggles in matches that it doesn't seem like he should struggle in. If you watched him a year and a half ago, it's not the same guy, and I'm not sure why. Aoyama is just the busted up dude. He wins a little bit, loses a little bit, wins a little bit, loses a little bit, just keeps his place, probably isn't even interested in more than 8 wins at this point in his career. Myogiryu at Maegashira 6 West is like the flight of Icarus. The bottom's gonna fall out here. At some point, the bottom's gonna fall out, and yet I'm not sure it's gonna be now. I don't think he's gonna get more than 8 wins. I am calling him for either 7 or 8 wins, and I think he's more likely to get 6 than 9. Not a great pick. I want to give Ura a big fat green check mark, but I can't. And it's not even that I don't think he can compete at this level. He definitely can. I have doubted him in the Joy, and that kind of came home to roost in the last tournament. At Maegashira 7, I think he absolutely can grab winning records. This is purely due to the competition around him. The mid-ranks in this tournament are surprisingly strong. Hokuto Fuji, Ura can definitely beat him, but he's a good wrestler. Onisho is definitely a higher level wrestler than this. Oho, we'll get to Oho. If Oho is the guy we saw last time and not the guy we saw in every tournament before that, watch out. Hirota Umi, he came up, man. He was popping off in Kyushu. Can he keep that up? Well, we're not sure. He's a lot more dangerous than he seemed to be in Aki, right? So where do we go with everybody else? Well, Hokuto Fuji, even when he started, what was it, 9-0, he only finished 10-5. Odds are he's going to be, 7-8, maybe 9 wins if he gets a couple that maybe he shouldn't. Onisho should be a good choice, but the last time he was up here, which was at 7 West, he went 5-10. I don't know why. I have no idea if he was hurt. I have no idea if he just had some unusually bad matchups. Maybe he was just having a bad tournament. I don't know. For that reason alone, I'm giving him the question mark, but you gotta like him at this level when he's performed really well at higher levels. But maybe I'm just biased for him. I've liked his wrestling for a long time, and I'm trying to set that bias aside, the bias that I know is there. So I'm not giving him the check mark. He gets the question mark. Our check marks are only 2. They're going to Oho, and they are going to Hirota Umi. So Oho, this shouldn't really be a question why he's getting it, why he gets the favor here. He did incredibly well last Basho. Yeah, when the competition ramped up, he beat Hoshoryu, although he's had good success against Hoshoryu in the past. And then he was losing to all the other high-ranked guys. Everybody else who he was supposed to lose to, he lost to. Fine. But he's not so high-ranked that he's going to see all of them again. He shouldn't see any of them again. He should mostly see guys that either he already beat in the most recent tournament, or guys who he should be able to beat if he fights the way he did in the most recent tournament. The only question mark with Oho is his mental, right? His brain. Is he going to go back to, oh God, am I really supposed to be at this level? They're hitting me, I quit. Or is he going to fight? Is he going to fight every time? If he does that again, he's going to do well. He's an easy pick. Hirota Umi, however, he's the kind of guy who you want to get on the upswing. He's young. He's coming up. He'll probably be in this division for a little while. And the competition around him, the Maegashira 10 schedule is not that tough, especially not with the guys below him. Yeah, he's going to have to fight Oho. He'll probably have to fight Onisho. Takano Sho probably will be a tough matchup for him. But then, look, he's got Tochinoshin, Chiyoshima, Kageaki. Those guys are all tough, but they're not that good, or they're not that good anymore. Hirota Umi can beat all of them, but will he? Did he just get on a roll last time? It's hard to say. He doesn't have, here are those words again, a track record. Oho's track record is that of somebody who should be doing really well, and yet starts strongly and then falters. Well, he didn't do that last time. If he can keep that up, he should have a really good time in this tournament as well. There aren't any great, overwhelmingly better picks or safer picks. So for that reason, even though it's starting to look like, dude, you're just picking all the contenders from last time, I really think Oho is the best pick here. And finally, we have ranks 11 through 16. This is ugly. Who here can we even rely on? Takara Fuji is a broken old man. And even though you can look at guys and say, but they're fighting so far below their level, you also look at situations like Terutsuyoshi where it's when they're done, they're done. Now granted, Terutsuyoshi's issues were apparently related to diabetes, which is a lot different than the injuries that most guys suffer through, but Takara Fuji was losing to some of the guys around him here. There's really no reason to think that he's going to make it to another tournament in Makuuchi. He can. I think he probably can get to 8-7, but You can't trust somebody who's shown such a propensity to fall to pieces in the most recent tournaments. So there's no way I can suggest him as a pick. Chiyomaru he might do okay just because the competition around him is pretty bad. Can you trust him? No. Mitoryu has had one tournament in Makuuchi in his career and he sucked. Get out of here. Azumaryu has had 9 tournaments in Makuuchi in his career and he's never had a winning record. Get out of here. Tsurugisho might do okay to start. He really might. The problem is if he starts strong, the competition level will go up and then he'll fall apart. So he's either going to start like ass and then finish 5 and 10, or he's going to start strong and then finish 7 and 8. He's still not a good pick either way. Ichi Yamamoto, I want him to do well. I have fun watching him fight. The last few tournaments, he's gone back to the form that we saw before his good tournaments. He does good and then he goes to pieces. He's not trustworthy. He's probably just going to keep sliding 7-8, 7-8, 7-8. Maybe some 8-7s to keep him in the division. I mean, he's not going to pop off a 10-5 here. Chiyoshima doesn't do anything special, ever. He survives. That's it. Tochinoshin doesn't do anything special. He survives. That's it. Kageyaki is probably going to be an unusually popular pick. I say unusual in terms of his general popularity. Most people would not look at him as a good choice, but you look at everybody else and it's, well, who the hell else are you going to pick? And he had a really good tournament last time, but that was extremely out of character for him. And lots of guys, hello Tokushoryu, have tournaments that are wildly out of character for their normal skill level. I'll be nice and I'll give him a question mark because I guess he could do it again, especially when the competition level around him is not that great. But the thing is, Maegashira 12 has to deal with Maegashira 10, maybe some Maegashira 9, and that puts him against like Hirota Umi, Takano Sho. If things don't work out, if he gets a little unlucky, maybe he has to fight Oho. This might be a little bit of a tougher schedule. I would be shocked. Not even shocked. I would probably be knocked dead if he went 9-3 again to start. Okino Umi might do okay, only because there's just nobody else around him to compete with him. He can get 9 wins at this point. He can get 9 wins where he is right now. I don't know if he will. I think he's going to get 7 to 9. 9 is his ceiling. 6 is probably his floor, but I think he's going to do better than 6. But 9's not even that great. Is it going to be the best in this group, though? It could be. You got to figure with 12 guys, somebody's going to get to 10. But if you look at this group, who the hell is it going to be? So he's not the worst choice in the world. Kota Shoho just continuously disappoints. He should be better than he is, but he's been at a point where he should be better than he is for quite a while now. He's not going to get better until he gets better. I know that's tautological, but you cannot expect him to all of a sudden pop off and have an 11-4 tournament until we see something to suggest it might actually happen. Oho was the same way. He wasn't fighting hard, he wasn't fighting well, and then all of a sudden everything came together. That could happen to Kota Shoho this time, it could happen in the future, it might never happen. But right now, he just his brain falls out of his head if he gets 3 wins in a row, and then he just struggles to get a winning record. Didn't do it last time, might do it this time, who the hell knows? And Kotoeko, is Kotoeko going to be my check mark? Nope, nobody's getting a check mark. But I am going to pick Kotoeko. I would never imagine that I would pick Kotoeko. But who else can you trust here? You can't trust any of them. But let's look at one thing here. Kotoeko in the last tournament was 7-5 and then got handed 3 much higher rank, pretty tough matchups. He lost them all, finished 7-8. He was actually 6-5 and then he got Meisei, but he beat Meisei. He was having a pretty good tournament. Was he having an absolutely outstanding tournament? No, I mean 6-5 is fine. But if he had gotten closer to his rank matchups, like a little bit easier matchups, and when you get to that back half of the tournament, it's completely unpredictable who you're going to end up against. But if he can just get one more win along the way, 7-4, no reason he can't go 9-6 from there. So he's not a bad pick. It's going to be schedule though. It's going to be how do these guys do early, and then who does that lead them to fighting late? That's going to say everything, and since we can't possibly know, it's a wild guess, I'll go with Kotoeko. I'm probably going to get clowned on this one too, but hey, it is what it is. And that's going to do it for our Kachi Clash pick'ems for Hatsu 2023. Come back tomorrow, we'll have a new game to talk about. I'll see you then. Have a great day.